This is what London has sent to us?
Yes, there's no immediate need to put it into circulation, apparently. If that suggests a logical place where it is the bank, with you here, that presents no real problem.
It's to go into the chemical company's account.
Account number 4, General Finance. My boss has put it through the books in the proper way. It will all check through. 1,300,000 for Lifeline, 800,000 for the Claros people, both into our account, but the Claros money into account number 2.
Very well.
You do a splendid job, Gaston. These are perfect. The real thing, in fact.
They are the real thing. I have friends in the Hotel de Ville. They put the official stamp on them. I merely collect them and fill in the details. Details I later give back to the officers concerned, and they're properly entered. So everything checks.
Jewish ration card.
We try to help whoever we can. It's not easy.
But why do they need false cards? They are issued.
The colour, my friend. The colour is what matters. In the majority of cases, it's not possible to give them Gentile cards. Some are so recognizable. Some are too proud to wish to disguise their own race. Once they wear the Star of David, it's too late. All we can do is to help one or two by changing the colour of the ration book issue.
I don't understand.
The Germans deport them in huge batches. With their customary methodical approach, they issue ration cards in various colours. Then all they do is deport everyone with a red card or a yellow card, or whichever happens to be the chosen colour. As I say, we can only help a few. They're also not easy to get.
Labour camps.
And that is what they say. That is what many of them pretend to themselves and to their wretched families.
I must go, Gaston. I have another call to make. You will cope with all this?
Just banking routine, Mr. Curtis. I wonder if you would deliver something for me. I doubt if I'll get away very early today. If you would be kind enough.
Yes, certainly. Where to?
I'm afraid I can't tell you. I don't even know myself. But if you will carry this folded newspaper with this clasped on top of it and go and stand in the small square in the Place Blucher, just quietly watching the coin game, you will be contacted.
Sorry I've been so long. Is everything all right?
Yes, thanks. Just, well, it gets a bit lonely. I feel rather vulnerable.
How's the leg?
Not so bad. It goes numb now and again, and I want to thump it on the floor.
Well, I hope you don't.
Don't worry. I remembered your warning about noise. I keep thinking about the chap who brought me here. Is he all right?
He made it. It's no problem.
I really am grateful.
I know that. Now, I brought you some food. There's some bread. Sausage, cheese and apples. They're not very good, but it was all I could get. There's a thermos of hot coffee. That's not real either, but get used to it. Tonight, I'll bring you some hot soup.
God, that's marvellous. I wouldn't want you to take risks. Just for me, I mean.
Life is a risk these days, Lieutenant. And I don't do it just for you. None of us do. It's our way of fighting the Germans. Just come back and bomb them again and again. That's all we ask.
You're keeping me here until I'm cleared. Isn't that it?
Yes. We can't compromise a safe house or anyone in the organization until we know that you are genuine.
I understand. Jerry tries to plant people, does he? When will you know?
Tomorrow. Perhaps tonight. Now I must go. Please, try to be as quiet as you can. The house isn't empty.
Thank you very much. Mademoiselle, if I was a plant, you're already compromised, aren't you?
It was my turn.
Yes? Mayor Brandt, sir. Ah, come in, Brandt. Please sit down. Thank you. I'm about to offer you some coffee. Real coffee. I trust you will enjoy it.
In detestum, Monsieur.
That is one of life's luxuries these days. Only until the Reich has brought peace to the world. It will not be long. The Führer has promised us all these things after only one more year's sacrifice. I think it's worth it. Quite so. The biscuits, you'll note, are English, with a French name. The coffee is Brazilian.
Ah, sugar I see is real also. From Barbados. I had no idea the fruits of the earth were so readily available to us.
We are to work together, Herr Major. I consider it would be most efficiently done if we were to do it without malice or any sense of rivalry. Before leaving Berlin, I had occasion to call at Teplitz Ufer. We do not work very closely with the Abwehr, as I'm sure you know, but Admiral Canaris wished to speak with me. I decided to oblige. I understand you are acquainted.
Oh, yes. Did you know my father served with Admiral Canaris in 1917? They remained friends until he died. He's a fine man.
Possibly. I have studied your work here in Brussels since your appointment. It is intelligent and in its own way praiseworthy. It does not go far enough, however. Together, we may well provide enough intelligence and impetus to do what we have to do both quickly and efficiently.
I hope so.
We have, shall we say, crossed swords already in our short association. It would be unfortunate if I was obliged to report to Berlin that we were unable to work together.
I appreciate your gesture. Our methods are different. But I respect your reasoning. And your ability was never in question.
Tell me, why did you request these particular offices? Away from Luftwaffe headquarters?
The Avenue Louise. It's very convenient for our type of work. We can pounce quickly in most areas without going through Central Brussels. You object?
Oh, on the contrary, the quarters are excellent. Much better than Prince Albrechtstrasse. You know Reichsführer Himmler's headquarters?
Not yet, I'm relieved to say.
Perhaps one day. You will have heard there's been a new commandant for Brussels. Yes, General Meyer von Studendorf. I think you will find him more sympathetic to our work than his predecessor.
I thought Schalk did the job rather well. He understood when to be firm without seeming to be tyrannical.
He was unsuitable. I advised my superiors accordingly. They appear to have acted upon the advice. I see you wish to return to your duties. Well, I'm glad that we now understand each other a little better.
Thank you for the superb coffee and the English biscuit. I am impressed.
There was no doubt. Dirk watched them for several minutes, then Curtis gave something to him.
And he was quite sure who it was?
Yes.
Curtis, he's coming now.
I was told you wanted to see me.
Sit down, Mr. Curtis.
What the hell is going on?
We need to be assured of certain things. Please sit down. Jacques will shoot you if you attempt to leave.
We're not going through all that performance again, are we? Doesn't anyone believe your own checking out? London cleared me absolutely. You checked yourself, Albert. All right, what is it this time?
You were followed this morning. You met a man by the name of Albrecht Biermann. You talked for several minutes, apparently friendly, known to each other. You then handed him a piece of paper.
Money, actually.
No denials. You know who this man Biermann works for?
Of course, that is why I cultivated the acquaintance. He works for the German Abwehr.
And you wonder why we are suspicious when you have such friends?
I get a great deal of information from Albrecht Biermann.
He's a German.
That is paradoxically why I can trust him. He's been indoctrinated to work for whoever twists his arm with a hidden threat. He's used to it.
I suppose you threatened to tell the Gestapo about his Belgian girlfriends. Everyone knows about them.
Nothing so trivial. Biermann has a sister in England of whom he is fond. He is quite willing to believe that she will be brutally treated unless he helps me from time to time. I doubt if I could sell that to a Belgian, but to a German, it's only too easy.
You're very cool. I'll say that for you.
I'm glad he's on our side.
That's exactly what we don't know.
I may be stupid, but I trust him, and did from the beginning.
Monique, will you get back to the bar, please? We need you out there, please.
You really have to start trusting me, you know. We get nowhere like this.
Trust works both ways.
All right, what has happened that I don't know
They
about?
picked up Daquin and Despieux.
They shot them.
In the house?
Blown. One by one, we lose them. That is why we distrust you and everyone else. This new Gestapo man is making life very difficult for
There
us.
was another deportation on Tuesday. I watched them, queuing outside the goods yard, getting into cattle trucks. Makes my stomach turn.
I have to deliver something for your uncle tonight. Will you come with me? I don't know Brussels all that well.
Monique can do that.
No, Albert. I owe Mr. Curtis some consideration, if only for the money he brings us. Albert.
Ale boj! Tak, chodź.
Monsieur Gaston Colbert asked me to come and see you. Thought you would need these.
We do not have permits to buy footwear. Oh, Monsieur Colbert is very kind, so thoughtful. It would be nice for my Sarah.
Is there anything you need? I know it's impossible for you to leave here, but...
It's not permitted. We have enough. Alma, my Sarah. Thank you, we have enough. Please. These are very good radishes. My Sarah likes them, doesn't she, Mama? Please, share them with us. No. There is no butter, I'm afraid. It's a long time since we had such a thing. Please.
Would you like to leave? Belgium, that is. I can try and make a contact. There are ways for Jews to go.
Thank you. That would be kindness. Oh, we have heard that there are ways, but we know no one. I can't go out and leave Elmer, little Sarah. They might be taken while I was out, you understand?
Yes, I understand, my friend. I will do everything I can, I promise.
It's not for me. Just for Elmer, little Sarah. Please.
Can you be ready to leave, say, in 2 days' time? If I'm able to make arrangements.
We're always ready to leave. It's the Jewish way of life.
I'll be back in a couple of days. Goodbye, madame. Sarah, thank you for your hospitality. You are right. They are very good radishes.
You look as if you need a drink.
Just a creak.
I don't know how you drink that stuff. Stella, or whatever passes for beer now, please.
Getting fussy, aren't we?
You should have taken the radishes, you know.
But it was all they had.
That's why you should have accepted. It was the last remnant of their pride, offering hospitality to a guest.
I just couldn't.
They really were very good radishes.
One creek, one Stella. On the house.
Don't tell Albert. You realize they could be picked up at any moment. This new series of Gestapo purges isn't going to let up. It's not a surprise tactic. It's not a whim. It's a simple, methodical, effective method of deporting an entire race. They can only transport so many at a time. That's why they go through this whole charade of coloured cars. Each change of colour brings a touch of hope to the Jews. But it doesn't mean anything. They are all going to go. Make no mistake about that. Will you take them?
No, I can't. The Clarence line looks after Jews. It has to cope in its own way. Lifeline is not in that business. It would put us all at risk.
They may die.
I know. And there is nothing I can do about it. Please, understand.
Don't you care?
Of course I care.
Forged! I can't believe it. How do you know?
Wim Porter at the town hall. He spotted it. Where did they come from?
I've been in banking all my life and I'd swear they were genuine. But I take Wim's word. They're the experts.
Did Curtis bring these?
I'm afraid so.
That young man has a lot of explaining to do. I wanted to get rid of him weeks ago.
Why, that very much of young Curtis is aware of the deception. It's not his money, Albert. Who brought it is not the immediate problem. It's what to do about it.
You mean that this has gone out to our people?
Mm-hmm.
Damn! Can we get it back, quickly?
Too late. We must assume that the Germans could have some already. There's only one way. But it'll cost us dearly. Emile, I wish to speak to Monsieur Lassalle in our Antwerp branch, and when I finish there, I want Monsieur Takmar in Leuven. And quickly, please. They close in 15 minutes. If we release some from every possible source, they'll have God's own job in tracing it back. Hello, Lassalle?
Now the other one. You see, Brunt, they are not the same. You don't have to be an expert to tell the difference. Merely perceptive. Yeah, I can see it. Which is the real one? Neither, of course. Thank you, Renat. The first note you saw are those issued to our troops by our military paymasters. I imagine you receive part of your officer's salary in such notes as I do. They are German forgeries. Europe is flooded with such notes. It makes little difference to the war economy here, but prevents the German exchequer from spending money it hasn't got.
Yes, I am aware our currency is debased.
So, where does this new forgery come from? I'm informed they're all over Brussels.
Black market? Underworld ring? They're still about, you know. War's only made their job easier.
Quite. But this time, I think not. Reynolds,
Hast du mir für?
go to my cupboard in the annex and bring us a bottle of the Hein cognac.
Sir.
In my service with the Geheime Staatspolizei, I have learned many things. And one is that most underworld forgeries are not quite as sharp as those printed from proper plates by proper presses. Now look at these again. This one is a real Belgian note.
Thank you.
This one, a German forgery issue. And now this one, the mysterious new note.
This one's the best of the lot.
Exactly my point. It is sharp, beautifully cut. The ink is even, but above all, sharp. Now, you claim to be a detective. Where would you expect to find high-quality printing with such splendid definition?
Well, England, I suppose.
I have come to exactly that conclusion myself. So, new Belgian currency is being used in Brussels. It has been printed in England. Why?
Hey, the resistance, I imagine.
Possibly. Who else?
The evasion lines.
Exactly.
Yes, I can see that. What you're saying is that we find the outlet and trace it back to the source. Is that it?
Something like that. Ah! Prost, der Führer.
Prost.
There is another reason that makes me think this money comes from England. They are not strictly forgeries.
What?
No, I believe these notes were printed from Belgian government plates.
I don't understand.
No. Forgive me. I could not resist playing with you a little. It is not generally known, but the Belgian government took their treasury plates with them when they fled to England.
I see.
A nice point, is it not? Forgeries made by legitimate treasury plates. Now, I am convinced that these forgeries can lead us directly to the evasion lines. Tell me, does the name Yvette convey anything to you?
No. No, why do you ask?
We picked up a man at an address to which we traced some of this currency. We couldn't get much out of him. His heart was weak. But he mentioned the name Yvette. I imagine it is significant.
Possibly. Time will tell.
I'm not a patient man, Major. Establish this name in your memory. I sense it could be important.
Even your assistant, Emile, he can take 2 weeks without a murmur of protest. Well, I want to know, why is it that Gaston Colbert must stay at the bank?
It's just difficult, my dear. I've so much on my desk.
No one is indispensable. We all learn that eventually.
I think Uncle Gaston means that he has to accept the responsibility that Monsieur Oxbourg ignores.
You always take his side, Lisa. Well, can't you see I need a holiday? All I want to do is go and see my sister in Liège. It's not far, and it is perfectly possible. You know you enjoy fishing with Jean-Marc. Well, they're very fond of you, Gaston. Soon they will no longer invite us.
Perhaps a short break would do you good, Uncle.
Well, perhaps it might be arranged.
Good. Then do it tomorrow. Now, well, put in for your leave now. After all, Gaston, they can hardly refuse you. You haven't been out of that wretched place since the occupation.
I'll see what they say.
Well,
I'm sorry. I have to go out. I may be very late. Don't wait up for me.
I won't bolt the door. You have your curfew pass.
Yes.
you will take care. You are our daughter now, you know. Lisa.
Oh, Louise.
Come. You mustn't keep Dr. Kelderman's waiting.
Good night, Uncle.
Take care, my
Yes.
dear.
I know why you wouldn't take a holiday. I suppose I've known for a long time. I just wouldn't admit it to myself, that's all.
Then you know, I cannot go to Liège. I must stay here where I'm needed, in case I'm needed. Too many people's safety depends upon it.
Including that of your own niece. I may be nothing but a foolish housewife, but I'm not completely stupid. Do you imagine I don't know what is going on? No, I don't know any of the details, and I don't want to know. But I know it is dangerous. It can only end in tragedy. You are my husband, Gaston. You are the only one I have, the only one I want. We have no children, but we have been very happy. I don't want to lose you. Don't just dismiss my feelings, Gaston, I beg you. And you must stop Lisa doing whatever it is she does. She's just a child.
Lisa ceased being a child when her parents and Peter were killed. And we've no right to try to stop her doing what she believes she must do.
And before that? I worked for my brother in his studio. It hardly seemed worth doing anything serious. It was only 4 months to go. What sort of work did he do? Sketches, cartoons, you know, the sort of thing. Mostly for local papers, but he did stuff for a couple of nationals and Punch. I just filled in the blue where he wanted a screen tint and trotted out to the post office.
How did he sign himself? Vidler or T.P. Vidler?
You can't get me like that, old man. He did neither. He signed them all comma. Like this. Well, I should know. I signed most of them.
All right, now listen carefully. You're going to be moved out tomorrow into a safe house. You can have a bath and a bed there, and you may have to hold out for a couple of weeks until we can shift you. Use that time to brush up on your French and let your hair grow. Yvette will tell you more about it.
Tomorrow, a girl will call for you at about 9:30. Do exactly as she tells you.
Germans, another spot check. Come on.
This way, out onto the roof.
Get cracking, man, for God's sake.
Hier oben ist niemand. Liegt halt ein paar Kisten. Guck mal hier. Eine Leiter. Lass mal flach.
Hans, sieh mal hier.
Was ist denn?
Ist doch ganz leicht. Von diesen da aufs nächste.
Kommt runter, ihr zwei! Ich brauche hier unten Verstärkung! Die Kellertür ist von innen verriegelt.
That's the best I can do. If you want food, you know where it's kept. I'll go back to bed. It is after 3 o'clock.
Sorry, I should have said thank you.
What for?
For my life. It does matter to me, you know, not to anyone else.
It matters to me. Don't pretend you don't know that. Don't pretend you haven't known that since I first went down the line with you as guide. I didn't believe I'd ever see you again. It was like a slap across the face when I returned. It was as if you hated me.
Would you like some coffee?
Yvette, please listen. That kiss up on the roof, it wasn't just an emotional spur of the moment thing. No, please listen. Why are you avoiding the issue? Why won't you talk about it?
Because there is no issue, and there is nothing to talk about.
Nothing?
Nothing. And there cannot be.
Why?
You must accept it.
I won't. Is there someone?
There was, once.
Do you want to tell me?
It was a long time ago. His name was Peter. There'd never been anyone else. Not at all, you understand. I loved him very much. I loved everything about him. He was all life to me. He was laughter, happiness, hope. He had all the trust I could ever give to anyone. We just loved each other. Then the war came. He was a reservist and got sent to the border immediately. But before he went, we had 2 days together. 2 days. Then he was gone. He was killed the second day of the fighting. When I got back to my hometown, it was in ruins. My house was just a pile of rubble. Somewhere underneath it were my father and mother.
What happened then?
I just wondered. I didn't know where I was. I was numb. And my whole being revolted against these monsters who destroyed everything dear in my life. That is why I came to Brussels. That is why I built Lifeline. And that is why you must accept what I say. There can be nothing between us.
So that's it then, isn't it?
Yes. That's it. So again, thank you for my life.
Let's just say you owe me. I don't mean to intrude. I just thought you could use a little extra.
You're so kind.
There's some herrings and some eggs in there. Some bread. And a small pot of butter for the radishes.
Such riches. Oh, Alma, my dear, Sarah. Please, you must join us in our feast.
No, Mr. Schliemann, this is for you and your family. I've eaten. I wanted to talk to you about other things. No bad news. Good, I think. I've been in contact with some people I know who run an escape route for Jews. They think they can take you. Now, you must remember, it's not easy. There are severe penalties for those that help, and certain death for Jews caught in the attempt.
For us, there is only certain death, one way or another. We will take the chance.
It'll probably be in about 6 weeks' time. But please, please trust me. I will let you know when and where as soon as I can. Enjoy the butter. I don't expect I can get any more. Madam, Sarah.
Sorry?
I don't think your little scheme is going to bear much fruit, Herr Sturmbannführer. Every single bank we have been to has the forged notes, ours and the new ones. They've been traced back to Antwerp, Amsterdam, Haarlem, Liège, Leuven, Brugge. They've even surfaced in Orléans and Paris.
Peter, have any further reports come in from the banks of the civilian gendarmes about the forged currency?
The prefecture has decided it is pointless to continue the search. Our assistants know we're onto them. They've dispersed the...
Where? And our own men. I see. Have there been any messages related to airdrops picked up by our monitors in the past 2 weeks? You have a suggestion?
Yes. Let us get back to tracing RAF evaders and forget about currency. I acknowledge it was a sound idea to follow it up. But it hasn't worked because we are not dealing with amateurs, Herr Sturmbannführer. I've been here long enough to learn that. So, I suggest that in the future you study my files a little more thoroughly. And now, if you'll excuse me.
Lieutenant Schippers. Schippers? I want to open a case file on Major Erwin Brandt, Luftwaffe Polizei. Yes, that's the same man. No? A Gestapo file? Grade 6.
It's not a question of propriety. It's one of trust. Your people in London send us money vitally necessary for our work, but in debased currency. Forgery is not to put a finer point upon it.
But, Gaston, I didn't know.
I'm not questioning that. When I first discovered it, I was angry and indignant. Then my banker's mind realized that it was inevitable. I realized how little Belgian currency would be available in London. Our own stock of sterling before the Germans commandeered it was small enough. I also realized they could hardly send us pound notes. I've today discovered, rather deviously, that our treasury plates were taken to London when the government capitulated in 1940.
Then surely they're not forgeries.
You misunderstand. To a banker, a note issued without value support, be it gold or whatever, is by definition false currency. But that is not my point. My point is that they should have informed us. I distributed those notes in good faith, and now hundreds of people are at risk. The Germans are by no means fools, and when they become aware of it, which they will, distribution can be traced.
What can we do?
I've already done it. This meant spending, not conserving, but it was necessary. These notes are now all over Holland and Belgium. Our masters may not now find it quite so easy to follow it up. Bankers have their uses.
Thank you. Seems to be my week for making mistakes.
Come in.
This came from the Hotel de Ville, Monsieur Colbert. They said it was urgent.
Thank you, Emile. Another deportation. The green cards. Poor devils.
Green card. Excuse me, Gaston, there's something I must do.
Can we get 3 people out of Brussels this afternoon?
Yeah, it's impossible. Nathalie won't be back for another 3 days.
It's the Schliemann family.
Jews.
You know I cannot jeopardize the whole organization. We are not geared to anyone other than aircrew. Young men who move about openly.
Yes, I know that, but...
Jews are recognizable. It is a different problem. You must see that.
I see that all right. I just want one person's help to get them out of Brussels. I can then take them on to Clarence myself, but I can't do it all alone.
The Clarence line runs the Jews. They know their job, but it isn't easy, believe me. Half of them want to take the kitchen sink with them. I'm sorry, that wasn't funny.
And I'm sorry, too. The answer is still no.
Yvette, you owe me.
Very well. I'll do what I can.
You can't.
I have to. As Mr. Curtis says, I owe him.
Right.
My dear, is there something I should know? If anything happens to you, we're all involved. It's not just our security here. You are at risk, child. Let me get rid of Curtis.
No,